In Leo Tolstoy's book, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, Ivan lays down dying after leading a colorless, boring, mediocre kind of life. And he has one single thought. What if I had lived all my life wrong? I read this book almost 25 years ago in college, and it came full circle 8 years ago to lead what has been a transformation in my life. It all started in Ghana. I was born in Ghana. I've spent most of my life in Ghana. All my experiences are from Ghana. Like everyone out here, certain beliefs, certain stories have been passed on to me by my parents, by my religious leaders, by my community, by my friends, by TV and media. And these limiting beliefs, I call them, if they go unchecked, will sort of run your life. You will be led by those limiting beliefs. And I've had two of those that really affected my life. Story number one was the formula for success in life, which was passed on to me by my father and forefathers in our community. It was very simple. And I think all of you here would resonate with this. And if I was speaking in New York or London, they would also resonate with it. You work hard, you make money, have a good family, follow the rules of your society, and gain social prestige. And I know this works with many people, but for me, somehow, I got to a stage where it didn't really work for me. Second story that I had that really affected me also was I was brought up as a bit of a loner, much older than me, and like connection and sharing, this doesn't work with me when I was young. So I was plucked out of the warmth of Ghana at 11 years old, went to school to UK, which was much colder. Classmates were even colder. And really, I had to be tough, I had to be strong. I couldn't share any of my pain. Vulnerability was something that I didn't even understand. Anyway, these things really served me sort of to move on with my life. And I gained success as written by my forefathers. I got a master's in law from England. I came back to Ghana. Within 2 years, I had set up my own business. 5 years, I had grown it tenfold. I got married, settled down, wonderful 2 kids. I lived a life of luxury, money, luxuries again, homes, cars. And I recall one day, we had a social occasion and I wanted to wear one of the watches to match my clothes. And I got out all my watches, and these were, of course, Rolex watches, gold, black, white. And the funny part was I couldn't match it to my clothes. So I just drove off, upset, that I need a new watch. So really, when I look back now, that was the height of my materialism. That was the height of nothing was ever enough. I looked around me, all my friends, all my family, that's how we live. So there must be something wrong with me. Now, I plodded on in life, but somehow I wasn't happy from inside. Everybody from the outside thought that I was living the wonderful life. I was living a charmed life. However, inside, I felt a void. And I couldn't really get myself to explain this to anybody. Why? Because I was also, apart from feeling this emptiness, I was feeling guilty. Here I was, ticking all the right boxes of success, yet I wasn't happy. So one thing led to another, and as life would have it, it sends you lessons. Unfortunately, in March 2007, my beloved nephew had a near-fatal accident. I'm happy to say he survived fully, but it was a struggle for all of us in the family, mainly his parents. But I, as an uncle, was deeply affected. Not just because he was my nephew, but it was the first time that everything perfect was burst, basically. The bubble had burst. Moving on, 6 months after that, my business went into trouble. And for the first time in my life, I was really afraid. I had overexpanded, the banks came calling in, and it was a very tough period for me. So I spent the next 12 to 18 months visiting Ruda and his dad and his mom, and coming back to Ghana and studying the ship. I did that, I'm happy to say, but it had a tremendous toll on me. Because I started having these panic attacks, my heart would sort of beat out and come out. My breathing was, I couldn't really breathe very well. So, went to see a doctor. What does a doctor do? Antidepressants. So I was told to take them for 2 years. Now, it was a period of confusion, despair, and the worst part of it was I was feeling ashamed. Here I was, successful, strong, yet I needed antidepressants to keep me going. But at the same time, out of this darkness came one single thought to me. Light. Because I knew I had to change and I wanted to change. And I vowed that I was going to kick those antidepressants within 4 to 6 months. And I'm happy to say I did that. And at the same time, Tolstoy's book came back into my hands. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to wait to my deathbed to change my life. I want to change it right now. So I started reading more books, going into self-development, spiritual retreats. And then, as always, God, the universe, supreme being, whatever you want to call it, comes with certain gifts. Gift number one, I found myself one day in a social meeting. Within a week, I was in a seminar studying how limiting beliefs affects our thinking, our minds. A few months after that, I found myself in Toronto with the actual teacher, Bob Proctor. I got certified as a coach. Within a few months after that, I was coaching my own community. And all this had this effect to me. You know what? I know about change. I know how to change. I know and I can see that people can change. However, this all remained on a mental level. The problem was I couldn't do it myself. I was teaching it, but I couldn't do it myself. I couldn't get into action. Why? Because my heart was still blocked. You can't change if you're not emotionally involved in anything. I learned that. And my heart needed to open up. But my limiting beliefs were sort of holding me back. And I went into more spiritual retreats and did a few things here and there. And I picked up a habit of meditation and journaling, which really helped me, and I still use them today. But God sends me another few gifts. Gift number 2 was running. Yes, running. I know it doesn't sound wow to you, but it was a brilliant gift to me. I broke my hand in a freak accident while gymming, and there was no option. And after the 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the pure agony of running under the Ghanaian heat here, I found a place I can't really explain in words. It's like my heart started opening up. I was meeting my soul. And I don't know if you saw anybody running in Labone with tears on his cheeks. That was me. And as they say, tears are the small rivers that lead to the wisdom, to your wisdom. So I sense my heart starting opening. I get gift number 3 from the universe. I was journaling regularly, and I started writing a few articles, and I was encouraged by my friends and family. And I said, you know what, let me try myself, let me test myself. So I wrote an article on the gifts of adversity, and I sent it out to a website that I read very often. And out of 1,000 people, I get chosen, my post gets chosen. I mean, who am I as a writer to get chosen? But I knew that God, here again, universe was showing me signs. So here was the universe showing me the power of aliveness. It was showing me what I can be if I open my heart. Where I've reached now, I'm not saying I'm the most perfect person around, but I've opened the doors that I had shut when I was young. I believed in certain beliefs. There was only one way of successful life. I believe there are many more other ways now. Second belief I had, connection and sharing was not for me. Well, now I know without connection and sharing, without people, we can't survive. Vulnerability, without my vulnerability, without my tears rolling, I wouldn't have opened my heart. So now I find myself as a better father, a better friend, a better family person, a better business leader. I do the things that I want to do. I choose the holidays that really excite me now. And I've sort of connected much more with my own community. As well as that, I founded an NGO called Born to be Free, where we've adopted 50 kids. And we teach them, and we use soccer. We train them in our own academy to give them a better option in life. And I'm happy to say that we have 2 players in the Ghana under-17 team, and we have 5 students going to university, hopefully in September. Now, this aliveness or authenticity, once discovered, doesn't mean you just sit down and you put your feet up, right? You need to work at it. It's a discipline. And I've said a few things in my life that really helped me. And I'll just go through a few of them because I know time is on us. My non-negotiables are my daily rituals. I get up very early every day. I meditate and I journal. Those I do every day, rain or shine. Being spiritual, what I mean by that is that I take a few moments. I have my alarm set like 3 times in a day, 1 minute, and it reminds me of who I am as a spirit. I'm not simply a human being. I'm a spiritual being, a human experience here. Self-expression and creativity. I can't say enough about self-expression and creativity. The soul needs to be heard. The heart needs to purr. I do it by my speaking, by my writing. A lot of you here can do it by painting, dancing, whatever it is, photography, setting up a business venture, whatever that may be. Finally, find people or finding your own tribe. Yes, our family, our friends, people who've grown up are wonderful people, wonderful rocks of support, but not always are we thinking level. And I found a fantastic tribe online who I communicate with very regularly. And I've also found 2 or 3 people in my life for the past years who have been like coaches and muses in my life. Aliveness is something that is unique and different to each one of us. I'm not saying it's going to be a complete revolution, but it could be a simple tweak. I'm not against money per se. I believe money is important. It's a means to an end. But for me, for aliveness to happen, you have to have 2: self-growth and contribution. Because without those 2, your aliveness is going to stop somewhere, as happened to me. And if you look at the recent, many people who are rich are not very happy. We know many famous people who are so alive on TV, they're not very happy. Robin Williams, unfortunately, is a perfect example. He made everyone happy. He couldn't make himself happy. So what I'm saying today is, don't be that you can decide to change your life. Go find that single thing that you want to wake up to in the morning. I'm sure written here. I'm sure there's a song waiting to be your community. Finally, I'm saying, go awaken your aliveness. Go find that thing that makes you want to get up and be more alive. And as Dr. Thurman says, he says it very nicely in 3 lines, what I've been trying to say in 15 minutes. Don't ask what the world wants. Rather, go find what makes you alive and go do it. Because what the world really needs is people who have come alive. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.